live comments on your channel as we speak?
We're live now.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Josh Samuel, and I don't know, man. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Oh, I'm not tired. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs, cats, everyone. Hey, the day that many deemed impossible, the day that many thought would take years, like it took that cut of Superman, RP Chris Reeves. The day that many said was a waste of time, that we didn't need. Day came on May 20th, a day like no other, a day that rivals all 4 Avengers movies, a day that rivaled everything that preceded that day. And that day, ladies and gentlemen, is the day that Zack Snyder will be a.
You're cutting off, Josh.
Yeah. Josh?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're cutting off. Like the connection is.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Better now.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by Brother Jordan Ross, Brother Fran, Brother Luis, and Brother Sean. Man, this could go for 30 minutes. This could go for an hour. I don't have a script. How are y'all brothers doing, man?
Cutting off, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Josh?
Yeah, can y'all hear me now?
You're cutting off. Like
Oh,
the
shit.
connection is.
Oh, shit. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Can y'all hear me now?
Hello?
Hi.
Can y'all hear me now?
There are technical issues, definitely, because there's a lot of like background noise on your end.
Shit.
It's like sometimes we hear you like really loud, and then some other times we can't hear you at all. It's like the connection is spiking or something.
No, his excitement's just too much for the internet to take, guys. That's what it is.
Fair point.
Yeah,
Fair
that's
point.
the truth. That's the truth. Okay. 3, 2, 1. How about now? Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, it seems better.
Yeah.
Okay. Still good?
Yep.
Okay, somebody else start talking. I'll shut up.
Come on, Frank.
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I mean, I'm still kind of in a little cloud. Like I'm coming out of the heaven. I'm coming out of heaven into earth again. But there were a couple of days there where I couldn't even understand what was going on. Like it was so surreal, everything that was happening.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm kind of coming to terms with it now. But there were some days where I didn't even know if I was dreaming or what was going on.
Mm.
Do you remember what Deborah Snyder posted just after the release? Like she posted a picture of the poster and she simply wrote, "Pinch me," you know?
Yeah.
I think
that was me.
yeah, exactly. I think it was a lot of us, or probably most of, or even all of us, were feeling exactly the same, I guess.
Facts. Brother Jordan, man, what's one adjective to describe how you've been feeling for the past 3 days, man?
Oh gosh, it's just there's so many words. Like just happy, elated, overjoyed, just relieved, ecstatic, erect. I don't know. Like I'm feeling everything. It's a wave of emotions. And like Fran said, I'm still like, I remember Wednesday night, I was like, did that really happen this morning? Like
Right.
12 hours ago or however long? Did that really happen? And like Thursday, I woke up and I was like, did yesterday happen? And it's just been a total wave of emotions. It's been crazy. And I sat down to try to write something out of like how this makes me feel, and I can't do it. There's just too many thoughts. It's just impossible to describe how amazing this is to me and to fans just across the fandom. It's just incredible.
Facts. Brother Sean, man, hopefully you can hear me well. Sorry for blasting the mic earlier. How are you feeling, brother?
Like we seen the reports the other day that the Snyder Cut might be announced during the live stream, and it just seemed to be too good to be true. I didn't want to get my hopes up too much, but then what really did it for me was the naysayers started coming out and saying it was happening, and they started trying to save face. So then I kind of knew both sides were saying it was happening, so then I kind of took it as a certainty that we were going to find out. But then I was watching the live stream, and like, Man of Steel's a long movie. It's 2 hours, 17 minutes. And I wanted it to end as quickly as I could. I think Fran said that on his Twitter as well. Like, so when Henry Cavill showed up, I lost my head. I knew it was going to be announced then, because it made sense that he's the one to be there when it's announced, because technically he's still dead in Zack Snyder's universe. And he was quiet for so long that I knew that this was the moment it was happening. And then when he showed the poster, I just couldn't believe. I just literally said out loud to myself, "This is happening." And the mood on Twitter was absolutely brilliant. And I still can't really believe what's going to happen, because I need to learn how to stop posting #release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, it's like a reflex, right? Like muscle memory, that kind of stuff. And now we have to relearn.
So it's just great. It's great.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. I haven't been able to sleep. I contemplated making several videos in celebration, but I was like, nah, without Fran, without Jordan Ross, without you guys, it wouldn't feel right at all. And man, it's just amazing to finally see this all come to fruition. I'm so happy for Zack. I'm so happy for Debbie. I'm so happy for his whole family, who none of us know, but you can just tell they are great people. Please tell me I'm not cutting out again. You can just tell they are great people, and I'm just so happy for them. And I'm so happy for the fans. I'm so happy that AT&T, HBO Max, and whoever else, Jason Keelar, shout out to him, listened and saw what we were doing, that we were doing good and great things, and that this movie is finally here. Man, Brother Luis, man, let me ask you this, man. When you heard or saw that Henry Cavill also joined in, man, what was your reaction like, man?
I'm so happy you're asking me this, because for all of us this has been such a roller coaster of a journey. And we had very good days, we had very bad days.
Right.
I gotta be honest here. The moment he showed up, I began to cry like a fucking baby, man. I mean, I completely lost it. Like, I don't remember having been this excited in a very, very long time. So, yeah, it was really that kind of impact for me.
Yeah, and this is for the people that said, "Oh, Henry wants to move on. Henry was never on our side." This is for those people. Henry never doubted us. He never doubted Zack. He was always on our side. So with that being said, man, Brother Jordan, man, let me ask you this, man. How quickly did you sign up for HBO Max, bro?
Right after. I think because Fran and we were watching it together. I think you joined and you called, and I think I even signed up while I was talking to Fran even. I was like, okay, I have to show my support. I have to, because I've always said as soon as they announce it, I'm signing up for HBO Max, and I did. So, just got to show that support. It was super quick.
Facts. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us on this very exciting and sunny Saturday morning. Hopefully you all are staying safe during this very distressing and disturbing pandemic. We will get through this together. Let me ask you guys this, and Brother Fran, man, I'll start with you. Now, we've seen what David Ayer has been doing on Twitter. do we need to push? Do you think we need to push for hashtag release the Ayer cut? Because I see a lot of people tweeting it, but it seems like there is still some skepticism there. For those listening and for those unaware, do you think we need to push for hashtag release the Ayer cut?
Yeah, because it's the same situation that we had with the release the Snyder Cut. AT&T is obviously understanding and looking closely at what was going on Twitter. So it's the same exact situation as the Snyder Cut. You just have to show that there's a market and that there's people willing to subscribe to pay $15 a month, to watch these kind of movies. And he just posted a new picture that said Dream with a deleted scene of Joker. So it's exactly the same situation. Like we are getting deleted scenes pictures in black and white from the director, and people start talking about it. It's time that we organize events. I've got people in my DMs saying that if I can make gifts for an event that someone may be working on for August for the anniversary. So I'm more than happy to help. But yeah, like it's how life works. There's supply and there's demand. If you demand something enough, you're gonna get supplied. We demanded enough the Snyder Cut. AT&T said, hey, there's money to be made here. Let's spend some money and get it back. It's the same thing with the Ayer Cut. They are in the know. Like I'm sure that the executives have talked about it in some kind of way. So yeah, it's all about pushing, not forcing. Because I've seen people. I got a. Sorry if I'm talking too much. I've got a guy yesterday where I said something like, I posted a GIF of the black suit Superman with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and a guy went into my mentions and said, "Oh, great, the Nazis won."
Jesus, I didn't see it.
And I was like, okay, like it's not about forcing anyone. You are just asking for something. Like when I and anyone here says release the Snyder Cut, we are saying, hey, listen, Warner Brothers, you have this movie, please release it. We are not saying we are going to kidnap you if you don't release it. You are a son of this, or you are a mother of something if you don't release it. It's just about asking respectfully for a movie, and that's it. And I completely agree that we have to push so AT&T understands that there's a market for that kind of a movie too.
Yes, that perfectly sums it up. Well, I always ask y'all the question, so as long as it ain't no math or geometry or science related question, y'all ask me something for a change. Anybody?
At what point did you realize, I think watching the stream, Zack is such a master at like burying the lead. And I know for sure, I definitely thought that he might not actually announce it during the stream because of just how he was talking. When did you realize that he was actually going to release the Snyder Cut, that he was going to announce it?
I think I'm with Luis. As soon as Henry and Danny Garcia were both showed up and showed their support, I was like, okay, something big is definitely about to go down. And at that point, I was like, shit, besides the announcement, we might even get an announcement that Zack is hopefully going to do Man of Steel 2 or something like that. But at that point, I was most certain, and at that point, I was in tears. And then I looked on Twitter and I saw Variety, who has, been mixed like Screen Rant on the whole ordeal. I saw them post incoming ... and I was like, oh shit. And once it was confirmed, I had to step away for a few minutes. I got so emotional. Just again, the fandom, Zack, his family, everybody, man, that played a part in getting this done. It was just amazing. It was just really amazing. So yeah, at that point I knew something big, really big was about to go down.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, guys, because I remember hearing a rumor not that long ago that the announcement was kind of going to come from someone from the movies who had not been vocal about it, who had not been posted the hashtag, and from the biggest ones, the only one who hadn't was actually indeed Henry Cavill. So at that moment, it was like, okay, so maybe that rumor was not that far fetched after all.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's as soon, like, I kind of knew what was kind of going to happen. I mean, I didn't know the whole story, but I had my suspicions. So when I saw Henry Cavill show up, I was like, that's it.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. You're not going to get Henry after everything that has happened to say, hey, yeah, Man of Steel was great, bye-bye. It was clear that something else was going to happen.
Exactly.
And it made sense as well because everyone's given, well, not everyone, but there's a side of the fandom that has given Henry Cavill a lot of shit over the last, I don't know how long, you know, since 17 probably, you know, and saying he never came out and supported Zack and all this. But I've always had this viewpoint that he is playing for a new contract with Warner Brothers. You know, Ben is gone. Ray doesn't have the power to do this because he's not a big star. Gal has her film coming. Jason has his film, and it was a huge success. So he had to play a game with Warner Brothers to get that new contract. And like, he's not this. He's a bigger star today than he was 3 years ago when Justice League came out. You know, he's done Mission Impossible, The Witcher. He's known around the world now. So it was. I always thought it was a negotiation tactic. I thought that Danny Garcia, who was also The Rock's agent, has a big part to play in this because The Rock wants a Black Adam, and he definitely wants a Black Adam versus Superman film. So I always thought this was a big ploy. And now that the Snyder Cut was finally announced, then Henry can play with it a little bit. He can come out and talk yokes about it, because this wasn't just cleared in the last few days. This is probably in the last few months. Zack knew this was coming. He hasn't posted on Vero the last 2 months either about the Snyder Cut prior to Wednesday, you know. So this was it was a big negotiation thing from Henry, and that's why now he can talk about it. And people who give him shit, I never give him shit now, but I never wanted to, because you never know what's happening behind the scenes. So now I'm just glad that we've kind of been, people who supported Henry have been proven right, and the people who didn't kind of look kind of a little bit bad.
Facts. Now, friend, I know you. If it was just me and you talking, I asked you about this, you say, Josh, we won. Just let it go. Leave his fat ass alone. I know, friend. You would say, Josh, take the higher ground. Be like Hercules. Don't look back. But friend, you know who I'm going to first discuss, and that's Jody's Corner, for example. Fucking Andy Signor and a whole bunch of others. Now, again, we won, rightfully so. Zack won, rightfully so. And WB, I believe, is going to give David Ayer another shot, or excuse me, AT&T is going to give him another shot. But we've seen the stuff that Jody's Corner has said. You would think he would be man enough to say, yeah, I need to go to a Weight Watchers fitness class, and yeah, I'm sorry for dissing the Snyder Cut fandom. But as we saw, he doubled down on his takes. And friend, because I know you would tell me to take the high ground, I'm not gonna make no videos dissing him. I'm not gonna do it, friend, just cause it's you. Just cause it's you, I'm not gonna do it. But what would you say to that individual, like Jody's Corner, like Andy Signor, like Screen Rant, like Collider, and fuck Collider? But what would you say to them?
Well, I will tell you that I wouldn't want to waste my time talking about them, but since you were the one to ask, I know I love you, Josh. So I'm gonna make you the favor. I mean, hey, listen. There's a difference between not liking something and having arguments about it, and blindly hating something. There's a big difference. I mean, the end product might be the same, but there's a big difference in terms of how you act. So you can say, hey, listen, I've talked to my sources. The movie needs $40 million. Warner Brothers isn't exactly happy with all this. So I personally think that it's not coming out. I don't like Zack Snyder's movies, so I don't care if it comes out. And that's a legitimate point of view, and you are entitled to it. But the other thing is, no, my source told me it was a piece of shit. I'm told that Warner Bros. Executives hated it. Doing clickbait saying the Snyder Cut is never coming out 1 week before the announcement. That's kind of embarrassing. I mean, stuff like that. Like, and then he got joined by another guy. I don't know his name. And they said, yeah, Zack said in the article that it's going to be a completely different things. Then why were these people fighting for the cut for 3 years? Haha, fuck them. It's like you are getting something out of context, or you weren't. I mean, you are not able to read. He, in the next sentence, he literally says, it's going to be a completely different movie. It's going to be a new experience from the movie that you saw in theaters. And they are, I don't know how, understanding that it's going to be completely a completely different thing from his cut of the movie that he has right now. It's just the sake of hating. Like, there's no argument there. It's taking things out of context. It's hating for the sake of hating. There's no argument there. There's no facts. There's no nothing. It's just blind hate and then playing the victim.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And to add to that, friend, what bothers me the most, and people gonna say, "Oh, you reaching?" No, I'm not. What bothers me most about that is those are the people that have legions upon legions of followers. They put no effort into what they do. I watched a segment of his video where he was discussing Man of Steel. He said, he literally got on the mic and said Chris Terrio was, I guess Chris Terrio did something good with Man of Steel. Chris Terrio did not write Man of Steel. But again, these are the guys that have these legions upon legions of followers that blindly believe everything they spew out. And with that being said, I want to shout out Jay Oliva. Jay Oliva has been a fucking warrior throughout all of this. And he's one of the main reasons why so many have continued to fight. He's been a complete champion on Twitter, bodying anybody that comes in his way and tries to disrespect him. And he's also done some great things with the DC animated films as well. Brother Sean, man, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, just as Fran was saying about those people, see, they just do this stuff for likes and clicks and stuff like this to try and get more people to their channel. Their content, I've seen a few episodes, it's complete dog shit. It really is. There's some terrible stuff, and they don't even tell the truth in anything that they're saying. So they just try and suit their own narrative. So they don't like Zack Snyder, they don't like the movement. So then they'll paint the movement in a bad light to suit their own narrative. Now that the Snyder Cut is released or is coming, they're now saying that it's not as Fran was saying, it's not the cut that we would have seen in 2017. They're turning it all around to suit their own narrative and their own take, you know. So these people, like Andy Signore, he's just looking for attention. Like he used to be in a big job for a big YouTube channel, and then now he's down doing his own yoke, but he's just trying to get a following again. He's just trying to get back into the industry, and he thinks getting on the back. At first, he was on the back of the Snyder Cut movement. He was actually supporting it. Then he wasn't getting much attention that way, so then he turned his back on it, and that's what he's just trying to do. But I just want to say something about the air cut. I think the air cut has to come before Zack Snyder's Justice League, because the original plan was for Suicide Squad to set up the parademons for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So if any has watched Culture Nerd yet last night, he was on the Lightcast pod, and he said that they're the same company that's doing the effects on Zack Snyder's Justice League, Zoic Productions, is working on the air cut. But then Grace Randolph said that wasn't true at all. So it's hard to know what exactly is going on. But I think AT&T, I called it flirting on my own channel. That's what they're doing with David Ayer. They're flirting. The two of them are flirting with each other, sending me gifts and stuff, whatever it is. So, but I think the air cut needs to come before Zack Snyder's Justice League if they really want to have this. Kind of, is it like a multiverse now on the DC streaming on the HBO Max, the streaming service? So it's just interesting.
Facts. I agree. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about too. Like, this only elevates DC even further with us having multiple portrayals, multiple people playing the same character, whether that's Robert Pattinson or Ben Affleck, whether that's, as Fran said in his stream a few days ago, Grant Gustin or Ezra Miller. Their possibilities are now indeed endless with DC, both on the DC Universe app, with HBO Max, with the movie universe, and with everything else. Brother Jordan, man, you and I also discussed the whole idea of people suddenly, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a fan of Man of Steel too. Oh yeah, I'm a fan of BVS too." But I was just shitting on it 2 months ago, and you said something, that was really, really, really insightful. And what I want you to share with the audience that is listening, what it, how we should go about, dealing with those individuals.
Telling them to lick my asshole. No, I'm joking. What I was saying was, okay, so everybody says stupid stuff. Everybody makes mistakes. And, I think a lot of Zack Snyder's work, the majority of his fan base is based on, we love these movies. These movies mean something to us. And the movies themselves are about kindness and personal journeys and, just trying to make the world a better place. So I think if someone, has been hating BVS or Man of Steel for years, or the Snyder Cut, have been saying bad things about it, but they come around to our side, I don't think we should necessarily, give them crap. I think we should welcome them with open arms. I think we should, be happy that they were like, yes, we have another person in our fandom. We should welcome into the fandom, because being bitter and mean to them isn't going to help anything. Mm-hmm. It's not going to make them feel better. And they probably know. And, that takes a lot to admit that you've made a mistake. And, it's probably a little bit embarrassing. And have people throw that back in your face can't be the best feeling in the world. So I think, when someone, switches sides and says, you know what, I was wrong. These are great movies. I want to see the Snyder Cut. Or they say, hey, these movies weren't for me, but I'm happy the Snyder Cut is released now, or it's going to be released. Let's welcome that into our fandom. Of course, it's completely different, though, if someone has always been crapping on the Snyder Cut, and as someone's always been negative, and they continue to, but they just, adjust the story to fit their narrative, like saying, the Snyder Cut's only happening because of the coronavirus and stuff like that, which we know isn't true. If you read the article, it says that the coronavirus actually almost stopped the Snyder Cut from happening. But then Deborah said that, actually, this is a great time that we can do this because VFX houses need work and all that stuff. So I think people who try to adjust the story and turn it into a negative thing, I think those people can lick my asshole. Everyone else, you're all good. If you come on over to the light side and celebrate with us and not try to make everything negative, great. Welcome to our fandom. We're happy to have you. To those people who are, still being negative and just bitter, it's like, whatever. We won. At the end of the day, we won. So, that's all I had to say.
So, Brother Luis, man, let me ask you this. Which character, and again, shout out to Jordan Ross, I agree, lick my asshole. But anyway, Brother Luis, man, what character, knowing that what we know and knowing that Zack is going to finish what he started, which character are you looking forward to most seeing, aside from Superman, of course? Which character are you most excited to see in Zack Snyder's Justice League, man?
That's a very good question. Well, not just one character, but for example, I'm really looking forward to seeing the whole arc for Cyborg, because as we know, he was the heart of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it was completely destroyed, or in the theatrical cut. I'm going to be mean to Josh Whedon. But there's a lot of characters I'm really curious to know more about, like Volko, for example. All the Atlantean part of the movie, underwater, with Volko and Mira and all that kind of stuff that looked like Lord of the Rings kind of epic, So, yeah, man. I mean, it's so much that I think I'm still trying to process that this thing is going to happen.
Right.
So, wow.
Yeah. Brother Fran, man, aside from Superman, which character are you looking forward to most seeing in Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I was gonna say Superman. Why did you do that to me?
Oh, sorry, man.
I mean, I mean, if I had to choose another one from Superman, I would say something like probably Flash. Like I feel like there's a good Flash there. I think that Ezra Miller's interpretation in the Snyder Cut is gonna be really good, and I want to see that live action of Super Speed. Like we've seen it with the X-Men and all that, but I want to see those effects, like he running and the blue thingy, like not the red skies where you're like, what's going on? They're like, there's all of it was like a mesh of color, and didn't know what was going on. But from the trailers, when Flash is going, when the unit explodes and he's running back in time and he's creating like these little portals, and then he turns back time and all that, I can't wait to see stuff like that, like the scenes that were in slow motion in the film, in the theatrical cut, were like the best of the film. Like the tunnel battle when Flash is running around the walls, that was one of the best scenes in the movie. So I can't wait for that. And I was gonna say Superman because I became a big Joseph Campbell fan after knowing that his books were a big inspiration for Zack.
Nice.
So I've bought some of Joseph Campbell's books and I've been reading them, and I see the inspiration that he took with Superman's arc in these 5 films. So I want to see that hero's journey, like the hero journey of falling and then coming back for the ultimate test and all that, and understanding who you are and all that kind of stuff that Joseph Campbell talks about. So I just want to see that, like he understanding who he is and choosing good versus evil and all that philosophical stuff that there's a lot of it in Snyder's movies. That's what I want to see.
Facts. Obviously for me, Deathstroke is a big one. Shout out to Joe M. I'm ready to see a badass assassin on the big screen, and the design for his suit looked absolutely gorgeous in a word, and I just hope this leads to more things for him as well. Cyborg, like you said, Luis, he is the heart of the league. Superman, yes, friend. We all want to see Henry Cavill as Superman. He's the best interpretation of the character, in my opinion. And I really am intrigued to see Ray Porter as Darkseid in this movie as well. I have a feeling we aren't ready for his menacing terror that he's going to definitely bring on the screen. And I'm just pumped to hear the score that Junkie XL did for his entrance, for his scenes, him speaking. I'm just here for all of it. I'm really, really excited to see Ray Porter. And obviously the Green, Martian Manhunter, and whichever Lantern Sam Benjamin is playing. I'm just excited that we're going to finally get
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds come back.
Ryan Reynolds come back. Hey, that'd be great too.
Did you see Garza talking about your man Garza? He writes and stuff for Real Anarchy. He said that Ryan Reynolds is going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh shit!
And I have a feeling that he will be as well. I'm doing a prediction video of the future of the DCU, but I actually think Ryan Reynolds will appear as Green Lantern. So that's what I think.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nostalgic to see, because it's been, let's say it came out in 2011. It's been almost 10 years since that movie came out.
Well, it's like he was. Sorry. I was going to say one more thing. Him talking about the Snyder Cut so much.
Yeah,
I'd like to think it was more than just a joke, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Rob Liefeld, the co-creator of Deadpool, he said Marvel have no plans for Deadpool for the next 4 to 5 years anyway.
Right.
So,
I read that.
DC can't take him back.
Yeah, it'd be nostalgic to see him again, and obviously everything will look a whole lot better with Zack and his design team at the helm. With that said, brother Sean, man, which character are you looking forward to seeing most in Zack Snyder's Justice League? Aside from Superman.
Batfleck, man.
Yes.
Look, he was done so badly in Justice League. He was made a show of, really, and like he can just see the love he has for the character when he talks about him, and he is the best in my opinion. I love Christian Bale and Michael Keaton, but Ben Affleck he looks like he's ripped from the comic books,
Right.
and he's intimidating. He just has the look. He just is the ultimate Batman, and I think he will go back and shoot more scenes with Zack, and we're going to get to see he's going to be back as Batman. So this is unbelievable. In 2021, we're going to get to see Ben Affleck back as the Dark Knight, and I couldn't be more pumped or happier about this because I was so bummed out when he left the project and he wasn't directing the solo film anymore. And then I'm okay with Robert Pattinson. I'm looking forward to that film, but like it's just Ben Affleck. I think he could have given us one of the greatest comic book films of all time, but I'll take him coming back in Zack Snyder's form.
Yeah, and from what I've been hearing lately, it seems that decision will be ultimately up to Ben Affleck himself. Like I think Zack is respectful enough and he's kind enough as to leave him take that decision for himself. Like, if you really want to do this, let's find a way to do it. But if not, But I think with Ben, I mean, I'm so fucking happy for him because after everything he's been through, aside from, of course, what happened with Zack and his family, but also for Ben, because, he was going through this divorce or separation with Jennifer Garner. He had a relapse with his problem with alcohol, but now seeing him so happy with Ana de Armas and rehabilitation and working out again, doing exercise, looking happy, looking healthy. It seems like as if the planets have aligned again to make all of this at least possible, to have it on the table. I think nothing is out of the question anymore.
But he doesn't even have to get into shape he was in 2016. He doesn't have to, because he looks fit now. He doesn't have to get muscular, big, like massive muscles on him. He looks the part now. He's big man. He's 6'3" or 4". He's big. He doesn't have to put on muscle. So all he has to do, like, I think a good thing to do would be to do short Batman stories, 20-30-minute episodes of just like a series called Nights in Gotham, or something like that, where one night he's taking on Deathstroke, or another night he's coming up against the Joker, something like that would be pretty cool.
Nice. I agree. Brother Jordan, man, which character are you looking forward to seeing most in Zack Snyder's Justice League, man?
Oh man, it's so hard. Like, there's so many characters that were just gutted and just ruined by the theatrical cut. I mean, it's so hard not to say all of them, but I'm with Fran. Like, Superman, like, that's my guy. That's my favorite superhero. Man of Steel, BVS. I mean, that's his story. And to see the conclusion of that, or to see him finally become, a more, I guess, I don't want to say more comic accurate, but I mean, finally become confident in himself. I really want to see how that looks, like a confident Superman who's sure of himself, who's not kind of questioning, and full of self-doubt. I want to see this, badass Superman rise from the grave, know who he is, and take on Steppenwolf. I think that is just what I'm looking forward to the most, for sure. But I mean, that being said, like, honestly, everybody else, like, I'm just so, like, happy to see all of them and all the other league members. And I'm also curious to see what, like, supposedly there's some more secret cameos that are going to pop up. So I'm curious to see what those are going to be.
I agree.
The Joker, maybe? The Joker by Jared Leto?
Yeah. I heard that. Yeah, that would be cool.
As you guys know, he showed up on the set when Zack was shooting Justice League, and we really don't know if it was just hey guys, how are you doing? I'm around here, or if he was actually called to shoot something. Who knows?
Because wasn't there like a rumor like Deathstroke broke Lex out of prison out of
Mhm.
Arkham. So that
Mhm.
would suggest that maybe Jared Leto's Joker might actually be in Arkham, and it may be a cameo or something like that. Who knows?
I think they should go back, and even if there isn't a scene shot, I think they should go back and shoot a cool scene. It wouldn't even cost anything, just to have J.K. Simmons, Commissioner Gordon, just walking down the prison cells of Gotham, and just the Joker laughing or something. That'd be pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely, yeah.
I agree.
And I remember guys reading. This was like a year and something ago. A thread on Reddit. I know that Reddit, for those of you listening, is like, there's a lot of rumors without any kind of proof or anything. But hear me out for a second. I remember reading this thread, which I haven't been able to find afterwards because I was stupid enough not to save it or something, about something who had attended a screen test of the movie when Zack was still involved before what happened with his daughter and all of that. And man, he told a lot of things that later on Zack began to confirm through the photos that he was sharing on Vero. And there was describe a scene there with Arkham Asylum and Gordon and Batman. So, and I think Joker as well, if memory serves me well. So who knows? I'm so fucking excited.
I still, I don't even have the words to say, because I know if I start talking, it'd just be a long monologue. So I don't even know. I still don't know what quite to say. With that said, brother Luis, man, now you, Jordan Ross, Fran, and Jacob Torres, shout out to him, took a part in something that I still have the footage of. I may release, but seeing that it doesn't really need to happen, I don't know yet. I may just email it to y'all and say, here, this is y'all's moment. Y'all treasure it, keep it forever. I don't know what I'll do, but we all took turns pretending that we were in the room with Zack Snyder, Danny Garcia, Jason Kilar, and Ann Sarnoff, and saying what we would say to them in regards to as to why Henry Cavill is Superman and why it is important that Zack Snyder gets to finish what he started. And shout out to Jacob Torres, man. He really had a cool moment this past Wednesday as well. Shout out to him and his part in it as well. Again, I had no knowledge that was going to happen. It's just one of those synchronous things. So don't come after me, WB and FBI. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. But in this situation now that we're now in, we now know it's coming. Brother Luis, man, what would you say to Jason Kilar and everybody else at HBO Max and even the people at AT&T? And I think we even surprisingly can thank Toby Emmerich. What would you say to them in this moment, bro?
Well, I would say to whomever is responsible, to whomever who has greenlit Zack's vision, thank you for making hundreds of thousands of fans' dream come true.
Millions.
That's it. Probably, yeah. I mean, I was trying to keep it conservative there, but yeah, I would tell them thank you for listening to your fans, because I think the one thing that they have understood is that maybe you don't need movies that will make $1 billion each on the big screen, but they have understood that they have with Zack Snyder and his vision, because not just Zack, because David Ayer and James Wan and other Patty Jenkins, of course, but they have this loyal fan base, who are really appreciative of the amount of detail that they were including in each and every single movie. Like, I was blown away by Zack live commentary on Wednesday for Man of Steel. Like, it's a movie that I love with my whole heart, and it means a lot. And I'm 42, so I grew up with Christopher Reeve incarnation of the character, But Zack, through that movie, Zack and everyone else involved, of course, managed to make me a big fan of the character, like in a way that I hadn't felt in a very, very long time. And watching that live commentary, because, you know, guys, I digress a lot. The amount of detail, the amount of Easter eggs that they were planted, you know, those seeds planted here and there in order to, in case it's necessary, we can, you know, take this from that, develop that idea in another film afterwards. So I would tell each and every single one of them, and I would like to take this opportunity to say to all of you guys who have been supporting the movement through, you know, social media, YouTube, online forums, even with, you know, in your own communities with friends and family, to spread the word and the love from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
Damn. That was beautiful, man.
And I don't want to start crying again because I think I've cried enough this week.
It's all right, man. Let it if you have to let it out, man. We'll cry together. Brother Fran, man, what would you say to Jason Keelar? I can't believe I'm saying this, but Toby Emmerich, and everybody at AT&T and HBO Max, what would you say to them if you were in the same room with them? Now that we're here, man, we're finally here.
Well, I wouldn't thank Toby Emmerich, and you may say why. In the article, it says that he was the one to call Zack and all that. No, the fuck he wasn't. Like, I mean, I don't have any information, obviously, but I can understand how things kind of work. And Toby Emmerich was one of the responsibles to what happened with Justice League. Right. He was one of the people responsible to what happened to make Zack leave.
Right.
He was responsible for a lot of stuff, and from what I've heard, he was one of the one of the people in Warner Brothers who was against the cut coming out. So now he's in the article saying, oh yeah, we understood that there was this fan base after November 17th, and I called Zack to see if he wanted to do something with it. If he fucking wanted to do something with it, he's been posting stills of the fucking movie for 3 years now. And he's like, yeah, I mean, he's not saying that, but he implies like, oh yeah, and I asked him because it was like a huge favor for me. Bitch, he was asking you for months and years to release the movie, and you wouldn't give him the money. So yeah, whatever.
Go on, man. Go on.
I think we all know that it's his way to kind of come back under a good light, because I think that most of us know what really happened there. And very quickly, Josh, because I want to say hi to someone very special to me who's live on the chat right now. His name is Claudio. You know, here where I live, among friends and family, who has been the only one supporting this, supporting me, supporting Zack. So, bro, I love you so much. He lives literally 2 streets away from me. And we haven't been able to see each other because of the quarantine. And I can't wait to see him and give him a huge hug, because, you know, I love this guy a lot. He's a truly special friend of mine.
Damn.
Shout out to Claudio.
Shout out, yeah, exactly. Shout out to Claudio. Shout out to Fran for going off 2 minutes ago, but more importantly, shout out to Claudio, man. Brother Jordan, man, what would you say? Not to Toby Emmerich, because Fran corrected me. What would you say to Jason Keelar, who shouted out Zack, shouted out the fandom, and said that they were moved? What would you say to him, AT&T, and HBO Max now that we're here, finally?
Man, I would just say, you know, because I mean, ultimately, it's Zack. It's his movies that mean this much to people. It's his movies that touch us. And for a long time, you know, we couldn't we couldn't see his latest movie. We couldn't see this movie that meant so much to us. And, you know, them agreeing to release it, you know, I would just say thank you for giving me back a part of me, because these movies are a part of me. These movies mean something to me. Man of Steel, BVS, those came out at very important times in my life, and I always associate them with very specific moments in my life. They helped shape me. They helped, you know, me form my identity as a young person. And not seeing Justice League, you know, seeing what the theatrical cut was absolutely devastating. It can't be understated, like how just horrible it felt to see that, knowing that there was this other mystical cut sitting on the shelf, this like holy grail of all cuts that means something to the fans and means something to me. And it means so, and you know, I've tried to articulate it. It's so difficult because it's so many words. It's so amazing. But this, you know, them releasing this cut means so much to me. And I haven't been this happy in a very long time. And I'm not, and that's not to say that I'm super depressed or anything all the time. And that's not to say that I'm not, like, you know, kind of have a good life in general. But this has made me so just overjoyed, so much happier than I felt in a very, very long time. I feel excited about going to the movies again. I feel excited for not just, you know, the Justice League movie, but I feel more, this makes me more excited for other comic book movies. This has helped me enjoy other comic book movies again. I can watch Man of Steel and BVS again without getting sad at the end, knowing that we won't see the conclusion. You know, the importance of this movie can't be, you know, I can't say how much it means to me enough. So I would just thank them from the bottom of my heart, you know, and on behalf on all of the fandom, just for, you know, giving us back pieces of ourselves, because that's what these movies are. They are, you know, they're a part of all of us.
Damn. See,
Man, you're gonna make me cry again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm getting emotional, so I'm gonna let Brother Sean go, and then, you know, Brother Sean, man, if you were in the room with Jason Kilar, AT&T, and HBO Max, the people responsible, not Toby Emmerich, friend, what would you say to those group of individuals? Because something, and I'm not trying to start a riot or say, oh yeah, Sean was the one. No, it was all of us that played a part. But Brother Sean, you, Fiona, Shiraz Faruqi, I hope I'm saying his name right. I'm probably butchering it, and I'm sorry. And a few others were among the few that first started this whole hashtag, and to see it become the glorious thing that it did, and that is that we will see Zack Snyder's Justice League in 2021. What would you have to say to them, man? What would you say to them?
Where's my royalty checks for the hashtag? I'm only messing. I'm only joking. No, but when I when I first tweeted the hashtag, and now to see a mega company, a multi-million, probably billion-dollar company like AT&T now tweeting it, it's just kind of crazy. And then what really did it for me was on the second anniversary when Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder were using the hashtag. So that was just pretty cool, and it's just kind of me to geek out on that moment. But Jason Kilar, when he first got the role at Warner Media, he was so positive towards the movement, and he actually was liking posts and he was interacting with people, so he knew what we wanted. And I think it says a lot about, I'm going to go very deep, I'm going to say the human race, because we knew that something terrible happened on the production of Zack Snyder's Justice League in 2017-16. We knew what happened. You know, he was pushed out. He probably wasn't fired. He left, but he might as well have been fired, you know. And the whole film was changed, and actors' scenes were cut, and we were falsely marketed. You know, it was a terrible thing that happened. But then us as a movement called that out. We called out the injustice of, look, what you did to Zack Snyder shouldn't have happened. So we called it out for the last 2.5 years, and Warner Brothers tried to ignore us, but AT&T listened to us, and this scene, or they saw that, yeah, look, something bad did happen here. Let's try and rectify it. There's a fan base that feel passionate about it. They want to see this film, so let's do the right thing. So eventually, Warner Brothers, AT&T, all the people involved have done the right thing. So I think that's a really special and kind of a real special emotional thing that's being overlooked, that people can change things for the better and rectify wrongs and call out BS. So I really like that aspect of the movement. I don't think that's talked about enough. But in regards to AT&T and Jason Killar and etc., I just said thank you very much, and we'll support HBO Max. We'll support the release of this film, and it just means a lot to so many people. Like, so I'm a big comic book movie fan. I've had this discussion with you before, Josh. I'll watch the old Fantastic Four films. I know they're terrible, but I'll watch them because I like comic book characters, I like comic book stories, and I wasn't a big comic book reader. So my comics are the movies. I get to learn about these characters through the movies and through the TV shows, and then I get to pick my favorite of each incarnation. So, but like, I'm a comic book movie fan, but I haven't been excited for a comic book movie since, oh man, like Batman vs Superman. I could not wait, and then I was looking forward to Aquaman, but I haven't been this hyped to see a comic book movie in years. And the Joker kind of brought back that feeling a little bit, because the Joker is my favorite character, and that it brought back that feeling. And now to get to see Justice League coming out, yeah, as was said before, I can't wait to see more comic book movies now. I'm just excited because I always had this thing when I watched Marvel movies. I was always like, oh, that was a good Marvel movie, but man, that vision Zack Snyder had, I would have loved to see that, you know? Or when I watch sometimes I don't like watching Batman vs Superman because I get angry because, man, we were supposed to get more of this and more of this world. But ultimately, I just said thank you, and I just can't wait, and I'll fully support the platform and the movie when it comes out.
I completely agree. To Jason Killar, to AT&T, to HBO Max, obviously I'd be saying thank you 100 times. Man of Steel and BVS, they intensified my appreciation for Superman as a character and what he stands for. And the stories in those movies, especially Batman v Superman, really showed me that hope always lives on, no matter how difficult, and even the times we live in now. It can always, you have to hold on to hope. Jordan Ross, brother, man, you were right about Avatar. I watched a particularly emotional episode this morning. Sometimes all it takes is one person is lighting the fire, and that fire was, this hashtag just getting spread throughout the world, and people deciding to join in the fight and engage and not turn away, no matter what somebody on YouTube had to say, no matter what somebody on Screen Rant, somebody from Collider had to say, no matter what they had to say, because they believed in Zack Snyder, because they believed in these movies, and because they believed in these characters, they never gave up. And that's all of us included. And like World One, rebellions are built on hope. And we fought back, we came, we saw, and we conquered. And in the words of Leonidas, this is where we prepare for glory, even though we're not going to get hit with a bunch of arrows. This is where we prepare for glory, and we will see Zack Snyder's Justice League. And thankfully, man, Jason Killar at AT&T, HBO Max, I couldn't be more excited. I signed up immediately, and just thank you for listening to the fans everywhere, because this wasn't just one person. This wasn't just a group of people. It was everyone that played a part. Everyone that hashtag. It was everyone that did it. And yeah, it's just an amazing feeling, man.
You American guys, you are so lucky because you are in the sense that you are able to already even pre-order your subscription to HBO Max. But for Frank, Sean, and myself here in Europe, I think, guys, maybe you have more information about this that I don't, but I think there hasn't been like an official schedule for release in other countries outside the US.
Yeah, well, I just want to say something on that. Yeah, it's not an international platform like Netflix or Disney Plus at the minute. Now that might happen in the next few months. They might announce an international subscription, just like Disney Plus did. It was available in the US first, and then it made its way to Europe. But the thing is, HBO, Warner Brothers have deals with channels around the world. So here in Ireland, main channel is Sky. So they have a deal with Warner Brothers and HBO to show their HBO shows on their channel called Sky Atlantic. So other territories, it's different. I don't know what it's like in Spain or other places, but that's what it is at the minute. So I don't know how they're going to release the film internationally. Maybe they will have a platform like Netflix, an international streaming service, which I think would be okay. But we already get kind of Friends and those Warner Brothers shows on certain channels here, so it's interesting to see how they're going to do it internationally. But this film has to be released internationally at the one time. They can't do what Disney did with The Mandalorian, because The Mandalorian was out in the US first. It came here then through Disney Plus, but we didn't get all the episodes at once when you had already seen them. We had to wait week by week. And then people were already pirating The Mandalorian because it was out in the US and wasn't here in Europe. So they have to be very careful how they do this, because they don't want this to be pirated or released early or anything like that. So we don't know yet.
Fred, have you heard anything here in Spain?
I haven't heard anything. I saw an article that said that HBO Max was making deals with multiple, I don't know what they were. There were things like companies that are in charge of showing certain TV channels in all over the world.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like streaming platforms or something like that? Maybe?
No,
it's
like, for example, like Sky. Sky has like Sky Sports, Sky
video on demand, I guess.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I saw that they made a deal, so I thought that was like, that's it. Like, they are going to go international, but that wasn't the thing. So I'm not sure. I'm sure they're gonna be like, they're not stupid. They know that there's more countries apart from the US, and there's a lot of people willing to pay money. I think that they. What?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying they could probably release it internationally in some places through digital platform as well. So I think they will come up with a proper plan. They're not gonna bluff this. They're not gonna make a mistake. It will be done right, and we'll get to see it somewhere, either on a streaming service, or if we have to buy it on digital for €20, we will, or €30, I will, or even 50. So I don't mind.
Yeah,
actually, yeah. Sorry.
They make deals with like other companies, like okay, I'm going to affiliate with you so I can stream HBO Max in, I don't know, France.
Yeah.
So they make a deal with another provider from there, like, we are going to use your servers and we are going to pay you money for that. Like, I think that's kind of how it works, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's how they do it. Yeah, because HBO extended, or Warner Brothers extended their deal with Sky for another 5 years back in December. So
I think that one of the reasons why they are so aware of the international, anticipation for this is the very fact that before the reveal, there was a live Q&A on Vero with people from all around the world, and the woman who asked, the mother of all the questions for us, is Daniela from Chile. Big shout out to her from here, by the way. So these guys are obviously very intelligent business people, and I'm sure that they know exactly what they're doing.
And I think we're going to see the movie all at once. I think you guys all bring up great points. They're not going to be stupid and like release it in a staggered way. It's going to be all at once, so everybody will be able to see it. With that being said, I think, as a fandom, it would be really great. I don't know how we could do this. I would love if somebody or people could organize a huge fan screening for, to everybody get together, from all over the world, kind of like the Snyder Con. We all just come together, we watch all the episodes or watch the movie, whatever it is. And I think that, and we donate, some of the half the portions to the American Suicide Prevention Foundation and all that stuff.
Right.
And just kind of a big event to really celebrate kind of this whole movement that we've kind of gone through together. I think that would be a really great opportunity for just, because, you guys are all in Europe, and Josh and I are in America, and it'd be great to like have one place where, maybe it's not totally likely that everybody could come, but it'd be great to see people from all over the world, from, who have been a part of this movement.
Yeah, well, Mick from TBZ was talking about doing one in Ireland sometime
Mhm.
next year. Because I'm like I would love to go to America and do it and go to the SnyderCon as well. But because there's a good cinema here, and even for just European people who can't get to America, like we're in France or Spain or in Ireland or in England, to come over to Ireland and to watch it. And maybe he'll even have a special guest. Maybe Zack Snyder will come to one of them. I'm sure Zack would come, because this is engined by the fans, and I'm sure he'll organize fan screenings anyway as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, I said it on Twitter. Like, if it confirms that they're going to be making a screening, I'm buying a ticket. Like, I will worry about flights and hotels later, but a flight ticket from Spain to Ireland off season, like not in summer, it's like what, 50 euros, 60 euros. So I would spend, I don't know, 100 and 120 euros just to watch one of my most anticipated movies of all time, with a lot of people like you guys who have never met in person, and a lot of people from Twitter that may go. And it's really close. Like, going to America is way more difficult, but Ireland is 2 hours away in a plane, so I will totally go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. Well, brothers, we're at an hour mark. Should we keep going, or?
I mean, my body's ready, so
Let's keep going.
I can do another about 20 minutes. That's okay.
For sure. Brother Jordan, man, let me ask you this, man. Do you believe that we're gonna learn some more things about Henry Cavill and Superman and his whole contract ordeal going forward very soon?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think so.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I think we're gonna, maybe not super soon, but I think by the end of the year we'll get an idea if he's coming back for more movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think things are looking very. I mean, he's been a fairly like kind of company man, trying to be very careful with what he says and what he endorses and all that stuff.
Right.
So I think the fact that Warner Brothers and AT&T, they're endorsing the Snyder Cut and they're actually releasing it, I think it's going to be a lot easier for him, and that's for opportunities. And maybe he doesn't get the movies, but maybe they bring him back for like an HBO miniseries. That would be pretty awesome. And I think I don't think he necessarily knew what even how his future would look as Superman, just that he wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're going to hear some news about his kind of future as Superman in the coming up by the end of the year for sure.
Yeah.
Jordan, do you remember what Zack said during the live stream of Man of Steel, when he was talking about that scene on the Kryptonian scout ship with the port open? Like, there was a reason that it was, of course, intentional to shoot that, and he finished that train of thought by saying, "Stay tuned." So that's
Yeah, and it's and oh my gosh, I'm so happy you said that, because I totally forgot too. He also said like, I wonder if Feor is dead in there. I would imagine they're still alive. And I was like, holy crap, is Feor coming back in Justice League? That would be my most anticipated cameo. I would love that so much if she came back.
And I think, to add more to the fire, I think Andre Trout posted something on Instagram last year that was kind of hinting that she may indeed not be done with the character. So hopefully, I'd love to see her come back, but hopefully that is the case.
Yeah, and remember that he was even teasing with Deborah. They engaged in this kind of teasing between the two of them about, she's definitely alive, somewhere inside the Phantom Zone. And I was like, these guys, I mean, they don't say things just, for the sake of saying things. Like, they're very smart people, and they know how to build up hype, and anticipation for all of us, with the fans. So I think we're going to see more of her. and maybe a third Wonder Woman movie with, a fight between Wonder Woman and Farah. What do you guys think about that?
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Because I've heard things leaning towards that, kind of. Of course, it's just a rumor, but it would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be great, man. It'd be great. Brother Fran, man, what's your thoughts on the whole Henry Cavill, Danny Garcia, Warner Brothers negotiating situation? Because you all, everyone, Sean, Jordan, Luis, Fran, you all know there's been a lot of, since that horrible day in the latter part of 2018, there's been a lot of, well, they want Henry, they like Henry, but Henry wants too much money. Henry wants to direct the movie while he's flying. Henry doesn't want this or does want this. What's your thought on that, man?
Well, I think that it wasn't a coincidence that Henry showed up on the stream. I think the first sentence that he said was, "I wanted to see you to show you guys where I've been hanging my cape." That may seem like a funny thing, but he's really smart he's really smart to say what he's saying. Like, the cape is still in my closet. Like, that's what he's been saying for years now, and he's very, very smart with his choice of words. So I saw Grace Randolph said that he said something like the deal is almost done, and that next week maybe the news will break that he has extended his contract as Superman. Like his manager Danny Garcia was on Instagram saying, very interesting times indeed, and a winky face. Like, yeah.
I think it's already done, actually. Frank, the deal.
Yeah.
And I think that, but they are waiting for next week to make that announcement, because we have just had a huge piece of news this week. So maybe they don't want to overlap them too much,
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
and did you guys
go ahead?
Did you guys hear this thing about Henry Cavill, Danny Garcia, and Dwayne Johnson having drinks together?
Well, it's their manager. Like, Danny Garcia is the manager of both The Rock and Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
So I'm sure that they both have been pressuring Warner Brothers to extend his contract.
Yeah. And Dwayne Johnson was apparently very he wanted very badly Henry Cavill to stay with the role, to keep being Superman.
I don't blame him.
I'm not surprised.
Me neither.
Damn, with all these announcements of spinoffs like The Trench and what's the other one, The Amazonians by Patty Jenkins. Extreme shout out to Patty Jenkins, by the way. With the announcement that they're going to be doing that, it'd be really, really cool to see maybe a Kryptonian type series or movie directed by Zack Snyder. But that's just my thoughts. But anyway, Brother Sean, man, what's your whole take on the whole Henry Cavill, WB Danny Garcia ordeal?
Yeah, I think, as Fran said, or whoever said it there, the deal is already done. So I think they want to keep the hype on HBO Max this week. And then after HBO Max has launched and had its marketing or its hype on social media, then that will be revealed, because Henry Cavill is going to be Superman on the big screen. I think it's going to link up with the Black Adam film and the Shazam family. I think all three of them are going to be intertwined. I think he'll come back for the Zack Snyder stuff on HBO Max, of course, but I think the main future of Superman is on the big screen, and specifically probably training Supergirl in the future. I think the reason they've scrapped the Supergirl film is because they have ideas of her appearing in Man of Steel 2.
That'd be great.
So Supergirl versus Fiora would be unbelievable, I think. And then it kind of all leads together with Black Adam versus Superman movie, The Rock versus Superman. I think that's the way we're going. I think that's what's going to happen. And then you'll have, I don't think Zack has any plans for Shazam, Zachary Levi at all. Doesn't suit his world or his kind of portrayal of characters. Maybe I'm wrong, but he might put him in somewhere. But I don't think especially after Levi's comments about the Snyder Cut in the past. But I think it's that Garcia is known for being a very good agent, and the two of them working with her, Henry and The Rock, I think it's just, as she said, interesting times. So I can't wait.
Oh man,
Yeah.
guys, did you hear this thing that apparently there's 20 minutes extra footage from Krypton in Man of Steel?
Yeah, isn't there like a 4-hour cut of Man of Steel or something like that?
So I was wondering if somewhere, I mean, at some time along the way, are we going to get like an extended cut of Man of Steel on HBO Max?
I think he could end up putting some deleted scenes from BVS and Man of Steel into Justice League if he's going to make it into a series.
Mhm.
Flesh out the characters a little bit more,
Mhm.
especially Krypton, and maybe telling the backstory of maybe Supergirl in a way. I don't know, but the possibilities are endless. If this is, I don't know about you guys, but I prefer if this is going to be in episodic form, because I think more Zack Snyder and all that stuff would be unbelievable.
I think it'd be interesting too, because if he does Justice League as a miniseries, what's to stop him from going back to Man of Steel or BVS, like you guys said, and turning those into extended miniseries? You know, showing us more than what we already saw.
Tarantino's with Pulp
that's
He's late, and he's going to do it with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well. So why not?
Yes,
Yeah.
and he's going to do it with. I've heard that he wants to do that with Django Unchained as well.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
that's
he makes really long films that he doesn't use. Like he has like 4 or 5 hour cuts of all his films. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and seeing that, seeing even more from BVS, even more from Man of Steel, like hell yeah. And you could even take stuff from Wonder Woman or Aquaman. You could make it could become this whole like DC miniseries show or something, which where maybe Patty Jenkins like throws in a little extra stuff from Wonder Woman. And it's just like the possibilities are endless with this. So yeah, that's kind of stuff really excites me.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, guys, those events that were planned to celebrate the 7th anniversary of Man of Steel in June, those plans are still going. And one of the TPZ guys, I think last night on Vero, was using the hashtag again. So maybe they will use that kind of events to announce more news regarding Henry Cavill and the Superman, universe or...
I think that event is for a different thing.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a
teasing there.
I mean, I make. I mean, it's not a thing to brag or anything, but I make the gifts for those events.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just make the gifts, right? That's it. I don't know. Maybe they do. I have no idea, but I don't think so. I mean, at least like the core idea is not that, but I don't know what can happen.
Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, ladies and gentlemen in general, we've reached the hour mark, way past that of the video. We thank you all so much once again for tuning in. Shout out to brother Jordan Ross. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Fran, and shout out to brother Luis, man. I've left links to their Twitter in the description. You guys go follow them. They are very, 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 very good friends and very good brothers of mine. And I'm very glad I was able to collaborate with them on this podcast. No, I did not rehearse that. That's just from the heart. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is the end. Is this the end, brothers?
No.
No. Again, one of the guys from TPZ was using the hashtag Zack is back on Vero. Well, not just a hashtag. He actually posted a picture, and in that picture you could see hashtag Zack is back. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm so excited hide it. Like Jesus.
Yeah. So again, the possibilities there are endless. This could extend to movies, miniseries, and everything, all kinds of things. And oh God, I'm just shivering thinking about that soundtrack, bro. I'm just shivering thinking about that soundtrack. Man, go ahead, brother.
DC have so much stuff for everybody right now. They've got great animation shows. They've got the CW. They have the Batman solo and Joker films. They have the on-screen DCU. They have the streaming service DCU. There's so much content for everybody. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, brother Josh, I don't want to make you any trouble or cause you any trouble or anything, but I will say this to Marvel and Disney. I will tell them karma is a bitch. You know, so and I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're getting at, bro. And yes, it very, very much is. And I wanna stir the pot a little bit. I want to stir it a little bit harder. The soup is almost done, but I want to stir it a little bit more. Brother friend, what would you say to shout out to Jordan Ross, by the way? What would you say to Joss Whedon in this very moment?
What a moment to be alive. I mean, I don't think he really gives a shit because he can like auto defense himself. Like, hey, listen, this was like a hot potato and I couldn't do anything with it. I did what I could and that's it. But I think he may be a little bit angry in terms of I was brought there as the savior, like the mastermind of comic book movies, and I make the mess that I made, and then 3 years later they get the guy who was before me who supposedly didn't know anything about it, and they give him total control of the movie to make it a 4-hour long movie, and the whole internet is in flames celebrating that announcement and shitting on you. Like, it's not just us that are, part of the Release the Snyder Cut movement. Like, I've seen videos outside of that movement of casual people who tune in from time to time to the Snyder Cut saying, yeah, Joss Whedon's version was disappointing, really bad, I didn't like it. So I think that he must feel a little bit hurt, but I must say that he kind of deserves it. Like, I don't want to be a bad person or anything, but like Louis said, karma is a bitch, and karma came to you, Joss Whedon, for trying to destroy another filmmaker's art instead of standing up for him as a fellow director.
Absolutely.
And doing what was right. Karma is a bitch.
Fact. No Avengers movies live in my household, and if there's foot in my household, I'm getting my shoe and I'm kicking it right the fuck out. With that said, brother Sean, man, what would you say to Joss Whedon in this moment, bro?
Yeah, I'll just say this and then I have to step out. Sorry, guys. But Joss Whedon, like, okay, what they should have did was, if they wanted to move in a different direction, is they probably should have delayed the film and reshot and made sure the effects were perfect before they released it. But then they wanted the suits wanted their money if it came out in that year. But like, I think the first Avengers is massively overrated. It's an okay comic book movie, but it's not anything special. I think Age of Ultron is a little bit better, but there's the visuals between Zack and Joss Whedon are just out. Like, they're not even on the same level. They're not even on the same earth. They're just Zack makes it look real, and Josh is, even the Justice League or the Avengers suits, they just look too comic booky way. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It just looks better to the average eye looking at Zack Snyder films, for me personally, anyway, than Joss Whedon. And I just say to Joss Whedon, I just say, look, I know you were hired for a job, and you practically did the job you were hired for, but like, do you not see the injustice that happened? Do you not see that what the fans wanted to see? So like, I don't understand why he took the job in the first place. Probably he thought this is easy money and I'd be a savior. Critics are probably going to love this film because it's me. You know, they love the Avengers films. I think he thought it was going to go a different way. I probably think he didn't think it was going to be so much attention on him taking over and about the Snyder cut and the movement. So I think if he knew all this was going to happen, I don't think he would have took the job.
Facts. And ladies and gentlemen, as you heard, Brother Sean, he's got to step out. Brother Sean, man, I left the link to your Twitter in the description. Thank you for collaborating with myself, Jordan Ross, Luis, and Brother Fran. And till next time, bro.
Thanks very much, guys. I appreciate having it on, and you've been great people in the movement. I mean, keep fighting for the air cut. I mean, look forward to 2021. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Josh Samuel. It is Brother Jordan Ross. It is Brother Fran. And it is Brother Luis. Brother Fran, should we keep going or shall we end it here for right now?
I mean, I've got stuff to do. If you want to go for like 5 minutes, that's all right, but I can't really go much longer.
Okay.
Guys, can I ask you a very quick question? Because I have to, because I keep forgetting about this. You guys probably are better than me with this kind of listening comprehension stuff in English. Of course, you guys, American native speakers, because I think I'm losing my shit or something, because I think I heard Zack when he was commenting Man of Steel. And I think it was in that sequence where Jor-El is showing the Genesis chamber to Clark, you know? And I think he said something in the line of, because, you know, that was Zod's plan, you know, to recreate Krypton on Earth again, but then he couldn't, or maybe he can still, but yeah. And he said something, I think, because I have to watch it again, something like, because in this timeline, Kal-El still has the codex in his bloodstream or something like that. So did I hear that correctly, or am I making stuff up?
We have the experts here in American language.
Yes, please.
See, I wish I'm be honest, Frank can attest to this. I actually stepped out for like a 10-minute phone call during that part.
Yeah.
So I have not seen that part.
I would think that he did. I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of just jumped in and jumped out, and then I was mainly just getting all my info from Twitter. In the chat for my English speakers, does Brother Luis have a point in the chat? Please hit 1 and type the response. Hold on. Brother Ak has an answer. Yep, I was thinking the same thing as Carr. And yeah, I do believe that Supergirl is in Zack's plans for the franchise going forward. I'm not really sure though.
The thing is, it blew my mind because he was obviously talking about when Flash goes back in time, he's going to create an alternative timeline, right? And I think he actually said that Zod, not Zod, because, well, or maybe yes, because if you go back far back enough, maybe Zod is not dead. Like he said something like, I think he said something like, in that timeline, Zod could still do it because, and then he mentioned something regarding Codex being in Kal-El's bloodstream. So I was like, what? Like, what did he just say?
I hope they use the Codex as an explanation on why he comes back in Justice League. Like, why doesn't he become Doomsday? Because he has the Codex and all that information stored in all of the cells of his body. So that's why he comes back confused, but he comes back as himself, not as anything else. And it's because of it. It will be a nice way of connecting all the movies in a new, different way.
Yeah, I think there's a connection between that. And do you guys remember that picture that Zack shared on Vero some months ago with part of the league coming into the Kryptonian ship with Kal-El Kal-El's body, and he wrote something in the line of, "The ship can feel his presence."
Yeah.
So
Yep.
maybe,
That means that there's something alive in there. Like
exactly.
this. If he was dead, I don't think nothing will happen. But I think that the ship understands that he's not dead. That's why it's kind of there's something weird here.
Damn. Mother boxes, anti-life equations, it's all coming together. It's all coming soon. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, myself, Brother Fran, Brother Jordan, Brother Luis, and Brother Sean, who recently stepped out, shout out to him, have reached the conclusion of this stream. Again, I have provided a link to their respective Twitters in the description. You guys go give them a follow. They are great people, and it is the right thing to do. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all very soon. Peace.
Thank you, guys.